So, Hamsky. To recap from last night, they stayed at Fable's weird demi-plane place, whatever the fuck it is, the Wicarium. Neither of them slept particularly well, but Hamsky woke up several times in the middle of the night. Sakoto generally slept, but shit kept moving around the room when he was waking up. And yeah, in the morning, she'll tell him that she got a message from Hezekiah. He wants to talk with her, or see her and talk with her, and wants to talk with Hamsky as well.
Okay. He would try to express that he does not hate them for this, but they can learn from it. Also, would the objects be like moving with him seeing it, or just moving when he's not looking?
I did a roll, and no. It's like every so often when he wakes up, like something has moved across the room as if it was thrown.
Thrown, so like a potted plant or something, or like a book is on the
Like
floor.
a book has been like taken, is sitting on a table, and it's just been
moved to the side. Okay,
someone
so
threw it.
noticeable.
Yes,
Right.
it is very noticeable.
But Sakoto hasn't moved from their position.
Yeah, she's still very much asleep.
He might think he's going crazy if he's if he's like noticing shit moving around, but like can't understand it, or he thinks Malleus is in the room too. Alright, how do these talks usually go?
No. Usually he doesn't have to talk to me like this. But usually he's wanting to. Usually a lecture.
Did he talk to you?
Yes.
I'm glad you didn't go alone, at least.
You misspelled it, Pyro. That's clam.
Where are we going?
Probably down to the office.
I've seen Malleus here before.
Yes.
I don't know if this is a good place to be.
I don't know either, but if we don't, things will get worse for the both of us. At least me.
Let's not keep him waiting then.
Okay.
questioning if things are reality right now.
Little here and there. Are you?
I'm getting creeped out hearing humming noises off to the side.
The office is open. Feel free to come in. Both of you are free to come in if you want. Step forward, Hemsky. You're a part of this just as much as she is now. How do you want to start, Sakoto?
I don't know.
What about you, Hemsky? Anything you'd like to start with?
I don't know exactly what there is to talk about besides what happened.
Yours is more understandable. I don't know what pieces of information you had already accumulated, what you knew ahead of time going into things, what you thought was going to happen.
I thought
Sakoto,
I
on the
was
other
gonna
hand,
die.
Yeah, you probably would have. If it weren't the fact that the man likes playing games.
I just didn't like the idea of Sakoto going in alone and me sitting around thinking about it, doing nothing.
Yes, well, maybe the better course of action wouldn't have been to let her go in alone at all.
Do I pin her down? Tie her up? What do I do?
You're not her keeper. But fighting her on something that is obviously a bad idea. Giving her the opportunity to see and think it through a little more before rushing headfirst into something that she has no idea what she's getting herself into. For what exactly, Sakoto, was the reasoning behind it? What did you want?
Been trying to gather more information about him and what he does to people. Trying to. Well, I think it's possible to reverse, maybe. Or at least help people.
Right.
Yes.
And did you get anything?
I suppose a few things, but more like experience than anything. Not anything that particularly helps me right now. Not without thinking about it more.
Well, at least you got a little something, right? It almost cost you a life, but that's alright, okay?
No. No. I thought I knew what I was
So it
doing.
wasn't worth the trade.
I could have gotten 2 other people killed. Or worse.
Yes, being killed would have been the easy way out of that situation.
I did everything I could to make sure that people knew that we were going off with Malleus. And I also do not intend to keep this a secret. But I worry about people's safety if I don't.
The general public does not need to know. Those that you trust to keep this internalized, however, should be notified.
My
We
entire
have
staff
cards
knows something
that we are
happened.
stacking. Yes, that already in itself is going to be a bit messy. This
What
needs to
is
be handled
the
very
point
carefully.
in keeping it all a secret? If I can ask.
Because information gets out, it gets back to Mr. Malleus, word goes around, rumors spread over and over. Not the right ones, but then he understands who is at play. The more people that names pop up, the more people involved. The meat rack is filled with people who just talk. It's not always the right answers. As you know, Hamsky, things get convoluted very quickly in a business of people who speak before gathering intel. It makes your job a lot harder, does it not? When people assume things
It
and then
does.
say it out loud. Exactly.
But I
So
have
you understand
first-hand
why.
knowledge now.
Exactly why I'm going to trust you with it, but also you have to pick the people you know will not speak about it without your permission. The less the opposition knows which cards you're going to keep close to your chest, the better.
The more people that think I was just abducted, the more people think I'm brainwashed and won't listen to me.
Then you need to gather those people, sit down, have a meeting behind closed doors, give them the information they want to hear, let them ask the questions first. If you need to spin it a certain way just to at least save some image, then do so, without lying straight away. But you need to have those people who trust you understand that things need to be kept within a certain circle. This also extends to Aegis being involved with Sakoto. As he's an investor, we can't just simply bulldoze our way through this issue, can we? It is true that as an agent you are safe, Sakoto, inside of the walls, inside of public areas. You lose that safety the minute you step doors out and in the open, especially in a place that you don't know who has true control over it.
Yes, Sensei.
All it takes is one misstep in through a door, and a trap can be sprung. You end up, gods know where, in a different plane, or a pocket, or even a room that looks and feels like it's real when it's not. So what exactly happened? Personal experiences matter, but to a Chern of you understands what happened.
Speaking with Malleus-san, he was at the onsen. I had had an intention on asking him a few questions, something he had said before, about... Well, he had implied that he knew I was psionic before I had said anything about it. That he was somehow able to tell. to detect this. Recently, there was someone at the meat track who we were not sure if perhaps they had this same gift, so I thought I could use this opportunity to both ask him and get closer to try to learn more about what exactly it is that he does. He has been telling me about some sort of program. One where he removes people's memories, makes them forget past mistakes or sad times. He has been very interested in showing this to me, but I am hesitant.
Of course he is, Sakoto.
I-
He fed you little bits of information, and you bit at the hook, didn't you? You wanted to know more, you wanted to see how far you could dig. And now you saw. Those little bits and pieces were a carefully laid trap, and you walked right into it.
I'm sorry.
And now you understand, though.
I've heard others speak of how they have gone to his home, sat and spoken with him without incident. So I thought perhaps I would be safe to some degree. I don't know why he suddenly was so aggressive with us.
He asked us questions about what we would do if there was a civil war. First between Upper City and Lower, and then he said between the districts, I assume. Me and Sakoto said that we would negotiate. Fable suggested that he would fight Upper. I think he may have been upset at someone's answer there and tried to fix the problem. But I'm just assuming.
So he seemed interested in the momentum that you three held within your social structures. Your answers, your compliance in his questioning. If you gave the answer that he wanted, then by all means you're playing his game. But one of you said something, obviously, that was contrary to his ulterior motives. Is that what you're getting at? And he wanted to make sure that that didn't happen.
I'm assuming. I also was immediately knocked unconscious after a migraine, so I don't remember much else after that. Besides waking up in something I didn't quite understand.
Care to elaborate on that, Sakoto?
At one point during the evening, Malleus walked away, said he needed to take care of something and would be right back. But then suddenly I felt something off to my left, like a presence. Sudden, it felt large. I wasn't sure what to do. I hadn't felt anything like that before. And I tried to warn the others, but Namsuke-san couldn't feel it, but Fable-san could. He was concerned as well, but before we could do anything, this thing appeared before us, and I felt something in my head. Something trying to It is hard to explain the sensation. Felt like something trying to burrow into my mind. I tried to fight it off as best I could, but I wasn't exactly sure what to do. Fable-san tried to protect Hamsuki-san because he could tell that he was being affected more than either of us. He said this thing was an aberration, which I have heard of before, seen once, but these were far different, smaller, strange tentacles and fangs, many eyes, like some sort of squid. One of them directed an attack of some sort at Fable. I saw he was in a lot of pain, so I lashed out at it and tried to get it away from him. Threw it backwards, and everything stopped for a moment, and we all tried to rush to find a way out, but during that process, Hamsuki-san fell unconscious when it showed up again and attacked. Fable-san was able to get it off us for a few moments longer while we tried to return through the way we came, but there was an elevator, and the elevator was gone. We couldn't climb, not with Hamsuki-san. I remember Fable-san taking us and trying to get us into a car that was parked on this platform nearby. At this point, it gets a little fuzzy for me. My head was pounding. I couldn't think straight. And I think I blacked out shortly after. After that, we all awoke and we were somewhere else. Fable-san called it, like a mind trap. It was
a
like
pool or something.
Yes. Yes, there was this pool. Dark, murky water and all this strange, oily substances around the corners. We tried to look for exits, but we only found one by going into that substance. Fable-san was able to get us to the other side. And there was that hallway. It was a long hallway with big pillars. In the center there was this strange television with little knobs and things on it. It was playing some sort of music, but while we were trying to figure out what to do next, another one of those things appeared and tried to follow us. We ran away, but we were cornered. There was only one way in or out of the hallway. Fable-san asked me to start turning the knobs on the television, and eventually I found one where it looked like a door in a hallway. And he told us to jump in.
He jumped immediately, and I couldn't comprehend it.
It was strange. Like someone suddenly being pulled into a tube that is far too small for them. But we followed. He seemed to understand the situation far better than either of us. And then there was this... Well, I'm not exactly sure how to explain. There was this house in a neighborhood. We woke up in one of these houses. Malleus was
back
there,
out?
but he wasn't like he normally is. He
It was a
kept.
sitcom.
So you were still inside the mine truck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Alright.
He came down the stairs, and I thought he was saying, "Did you like the movie?" Like he had put us through some simulation and he was gonna let us go. Then I realized he was saying that Fable was my brother.
He started referring to us like we were his children. We tried to find a way out, but I wasn't sure what to do. Hamsuki-san and Fable-san had this idea of trying to upset him, Malleus. Fable-san says he is a perfectionist, likes things to be neat and orderly in the way he wants it. And when they started yelling and berating him and telling him he was an awful father, he, there was this thing that started happening.
Flickered.
It was like he was, yes,
A hologram. Something.
yes. His appearance, he just suddenly would disappear and reappear. Like something was wrong with him. Eventually, Fable-san started a fire.
He created.
Hmm.
The control that he kept. The more and more you disrupted his perfect image that he was trying to force, the more unstable it grew.
He,
Also, insulting his fashion sense. That could have been what happened, because I was calling him a shitty father and he wasn't doing anything. After he flickered.
I had something similar once, and somebody commented on a simple thing as color schemes. He had gotten stern for a split second.
Fable-san started a fire in the house, and that's when things got a bit, difficult. Hamsuki-san helped us to escape the house, and we ran to a nearby house. There was a pool there with water, and, well, I thought, like before, where we had gone down into the pool of water, perhaps we could escape using this. Fable-san seemed to agree, so we stepped in, and I just sort of imagined us just sinking into the water, disappearing. But felt like something dropped out from beneath me, and then everything went dark, and I woke up. We were at the top of where the elevator was.
And
It's
well,
closer to the
okay.
exit. I don't know.
I thought I heard him. I woke up when you were unconscious. I thought I heard him and I saw a flashlight or something. It was behind the houses. I think he was trying to find us, and we passed through a alley. I don't even know what that was. I don't think that was a neighborhood. That was like a fake
It was
building or
weird.
something.
like a
Was
big
it his territory?
s-
The place. Was it his territory? Place he knew.
We went.
it was at his business.
What was the office?
Malleus
We
Industries on
exited
it.
to his
This
office.
gigantic pyramid.
But there was no people.
Just him.
At first there were, at least a few, wandering around, but once we left, or when we were trying to leave, they were all gone. It disappeared.
It was late after all. But still, it's kind of suspicious. One or two. Once you guys woke back up, were you back out of the mind? You simply left or hid?
We ran. Babel-san,
We were told.
Oh.
We were told he couldn't find us in Fable's plane or something. I don't understand these things. So we stayed there.
Some sort of pocket. Away from the material temporarily, at least. Just a place to recuperate yourselves and then slip back into the public.
I made sure to tell my staff that Malleus is everything that people say. Despite people telling me to keep it a secret.
That does one of two things. Well, it's good for people to understand and start to see things for what they are, rather than just believe blindly that he's just creepy in his own sense. People need not try to get in his way. We need to make sure that when we collect information necessary to understand what exactly his goals are, or what can actually affect him. Because the minute that we think we have cards stacked up, somebody can make that all tumbling down in an instant. One good push, and all of that work, all the information, and he holds himself up somewhere, or disappears for a good while, and we lose our chance. The other side of that is, maybe you tell somebody who's brash, who thinks they know what they're doing. They storm right up to one of his offices, one of his buildings, by themselves, and then they disappear.
Well, he's already doing that when he was just inviting us to get dinner. So how do I protect the people I care about when he's slowly building an army of... I don't even know what would have
You don't
happened
get
to us.
isolated. You don't go willingly into the dragon's lair. You gather your forces, you keep them safe, and when the time comes, everyone goes together.
And how
But the
long
more
is
people
that?
that make a fuss, as long as it takes for him to slip up more than he already just has. Before it was just hearsay, right? People with these weird interactions or stories that were isolated, even though they all led to the same place. It wasn't factual, nothing that we could actually prove.
If
But now we
I
have a
kept it a
basis.
secret, I could just die and then no one would ever know.
But you're not. And the point is not to keep it a secret. The point is to give the information to those who it's vital to, who it's useful for. Do you think the newspaper needs to hear about this story? Then what? That just creates a bigger mess, doesn't it? You understand, right?
No one
The
would
people who
believe
need
it.
to know. Exactly. The council member creating some type of mind manipulation. What for? Hamska's out of his damn mind again. It's finally gotten to him. The smog and the sewer water down there is all he has to play on. It's your word versus his. But you have people around you that trust you and that know. And they're the ones that need to get that information and keep it close to them. So you can tell the people that you trust, is what I'm saying. Gather those close to you. Let them know that you don't isolate yourself around him, because he doesn't look as powerful as he actually is. We don't know fully what he's capable of. But he surrounds himself with powerful entities. The workers that he sometimes gathers around him, their unique features, their weird discrepancies between what they should feel like talking to a normal person. That thing that he brought to the cathedral that one time that creaked a little bit and gave off a weird vibe. That small story that was rumors circulating when he got shot down at your meat rack. You heard that. He got blasted point blank, and what did it do to him?
I don't even know.
Exactly.
Self-defense mechanism. Somehow surviving, walked out of the rip and chip fine. Ish.
Mm-hmm. We're not prepared to deal with him yet. Hell, we might not ever be prepared to deal with him. But we can
To deal
become a
with him.
problem. There's a lot of things we won't want to. But if it comes to our door, then we have to answer. You can pretend the big bad wolf doesn't exist, Sakoto. But you need to make
Trying
sure
to pretend he
your
doesn't
house is built
exist.
up strong enough. Well, eventually it might come to a... not a fight. But most likely, some type of altercation. And we need to be ready.
I was just looking
Has this
for
ever
a way to-
happened before? Has anyone escaped? We're probably in danger.
Most likely. I don't know what he's going to react to it. I don't know what his intentions were. It's very vague. The way that he chose to lash out, I don't know if it was a mistake on his part and he's going to try to fix it. It's a little late for that. He's given you too much time, but now he has 3 loose ends that are possibilities. He doesn't know what you found, what you saw, what you remember. So you stay on your toes. You understand how dangerous he is now. You don't need to fear him. But you understand the power that he possesses. So you need to strengthen yourself against it.
Strengthen my mind. I don't have psionics or anything that will protect me. I collapsed almost immediately.
You don't need to be psionic or special. Anybody can slowly gain that strength that they need. Obviously, you're going to need those around you that can help you, but there are things that you can do. Places that you can make sure that you're in. He might never be able to fully stop what he's capable of. I might not be able to fully stop what he's capable of. I've never tested myself against him. I don't want to just yet.
Would
If you both have contact with Fable, I would like to speak with him eventually also, even if I need to go to where he is.
okay.
And you were saying, Hamsky.
When I was in there, I tried to breathe, but I was unable to do it amazingly. But for a brief moment, everything seemed clear when that TV was in the room. Does chi or just breathing help with that sort of thing? Or focusing, clearing my mind? Or clearing my mind? The bad thing, Fable was saying, don't clear your mind or focus on something.
Don't leave your mind open. You don't know what can crawl into it, but looking into psionics little by little, the small information that's available, even if you don't know how to use magic or other things, your abilities that you foster, given potential and strength, can withstand against effects, magics. Some spells that are able to shatter other ones and vice versa. Everything has its limit. Nothing is all powerful. So yes, that inner strength that you are able to harness, it might be able to do such. I wouldn't know, and you won't know until you try.
Was what we were facing kind of like psionics? Can you or Shen bombard my brain or something?
As much as you don't want to, Sakoto, I think it's finally time for you to try to be more aggressive with your abilities and see if you can affect Hansky in training. Even if it's briefly stopping him, stunning him, causing him to second guess his decisions. Strengthen your mental. As you've seen, it's definitely not up to par.
No, Sensei.
You've been focusing on your ability to fight. We need to strengthen your defenses. And not just your ability to get hit by an object. If Hamsky's alright with it, and Bella's alright with it, I want to see how much Sakoto can force her way into someone's mind, same as yours, and you can keep up your defenses to keep her out.
I'm okay with it. As long as you don't kill me or remove a memory or something. Trust you.
She had done it once by accident. When she looked into mine, gave me quite the headache, and it gave her one also. But she was briefly at one of my old memories, watching, sort of like an outsider that was there but not there at the table. That was challenging for you months back.
Someone.
I know how you feel, but you don't want to hurt people. The goal isn't to hurt people. The goal is to give somebody the feeling and knowledge that comes with somebody entering into your mind. Normal people wouldn't even second guess you, connecting to them, speaking into their head, right? Like you did before. It takes a few times before you start to feel something there. It's a learned thing. And while I understand that telling me to force your way into somebody's mind is not something you were comfortable with, it is necessary training for some people if they want to strengthen themselves.
Yes, Sensei.
And that's a lot of power to be wielded. But given how every step of the way that you've shown, you don't abuse your power. Not like Melius. So sometimes it's better for the right people to hold it. A lot of those who are close to nature can move the earth, but not everybody is worthy. Not everybody should be able to just flick their hand or raise something from the dead. Every magic, every power, every ability placed in the wrong hands is cataclysmic. That's why mages were feared so many years ago. Why dragons were feared, why the vampires were run out. All it takes is a few bad examples, and it becomes taboo. I trust you, Hamsky. Your decision-making is a little bit lacking sometimes. That's because of experience. But your heart is in it.
I resent that comment about my decision making, but I am grateful that you trust me.
You understand when you make a bad choice. Some people won't ever acknowledge that. I'm not saying that you're infallible, is what I'm trying to get at. I'm not infallible. I've made bad decisions. I've cost people their lives. Can't take those back. So yes, we all make bad decisions from time to time. Even with the
At
best
this point,
intentions.
I don't even know if there... You can make a bad decision, but I feel like I make a good decision, and if one side doesn't like it, it's bad.
If you look at it as a war, one side is not always right. You have to make compromise. And if people can't see that, or see which side needs the greater decision to be made, then that's on them. As long as you understand what you're doing, your decision making, and the outcome is more beneficial, even if you have to make a tough one. The good thing is that you understand that you're not making both sides happy completely. You're not trying to appease. You're trying to do what's right.
I am trying to do what's right. I agree.
Like I said, I'm open to always helping you when you need it. After all, my agents are constantly down there. Some have even opened up shop. It would be wrong of me to just disregard you as a notable leader down there.
I hope people outside of here will appreciate that I went with you when I knew it was a bad decision. I don't think they will.
Well, as they say, those who mind don't matter. And those who matter to you will ultimately not mind.
Oh,
We know
excuse me.
what happened. Those you trust will understand and come to know what happened. Let the others think what they want. I'm disappointed
I'm aware,
that
Pyro.
it happened,
Trust me, I see the clock.
but you both made it out and helped each other. You told me you wouldn't leave her behind, and you kept your word, even if it almost cost you your life. And Sakoto didn't leave you to die. So keep each other safe when I'm not around.
I'm trying, but also we have to learn from our mistakes, Sakoto. Don't go alone. That goes for Penny, too.
That should go for all of your staff. They should be notifying you if they're ever put in a position with a council member alone.
Wasn't
Not
going
just
to go alone.
Malleus. Anybody like it.
I
Into
thought
their
you were, so
territory.
that's why I stopped.
You said you would, so I went through with it.
You should have told me you wouldn't have, and then I wouldn't have gone.
That's hindsight. Second guessing the if I would have known.
Tell me everything. Next time. I can't read your mind. I'm also aware that everyone makes mistakes, so don't beat yourself up.
He said it. I must got you killed. In Vincent.
And we're not. Learn from it. Don't get us killed. And I won't drag you into places like Dragonspire either. I'm hearing pool sounds behind me, and it's freaking me the fuck out. Is that like residual, or is that just in my fucking head? Or am I swear to God, if you're fucking Malleus.
Oh, that would be horrible. Don't even make me think that. No, the pool sounds is probably something residual in your head. Or the generators outside. At least I think they're generators. That's a Hyper's question if you want to ask her.
How do we know that he didn't steal a memory and like we've forgotten something he did?
That's the thing. You don't.
The other memories that I have lost, I feel them sometimes.
No one could ever fully steal a memory from you. They can cloud it. They can hide away.
Can we have a psionic look into our minds and see a gap, or is it just filled?
I wouldn't know. It's not my expertise.
It's possible.
Maybe with time. Like I said, Sakoto did it. briefly once before, many months ago. But it took a toll on her instantly, so I didn't want to touch upon that ability again, but it could be something that she practices when she feels up for it. I just want you to know, Hamsky, that the stronger she gets, the more power she wields. And I want her to take the time, even if it's something that you think that we need right away, or you would like to. They're rare. Rare for a reason.
I'm not gonna force you to do anything. I'd like to leave. I don't feel comfortable on the space station where Malleus could just pop in the door.
He's not allowed in my office without permission, nor is he really allowed on the ship unless he asks his boarding. From now on, if I notice his registration come through, I'll notify you if you're ever on board, alright?
I appreciate that. I'm gonna... I don't know where
You're
I'm
free
gonna
to
go,
leave.
actually.
I don't have the words right now. You're alive. That's what matters. But you learned. And you'll continue to learn. I just pray that you'll keep making mistakes that I can chastise you for.
And say I'm scared. I'm afraid if I start messing with people's heads. What if I do something wrong and I do something horrible to them? Something I can't fix? I've made mistakes in the past, and I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to be seen as a monster, or to become one.
Control. Know yourself. Do not force it. You have felt what happens. You've been knocked unconscious a few times. You know that feedback. The time you touched Fable's mind and it pressed back. The time you were in mine and you can feel the headache start to build. If you need to go a little piece at a time, if you don't feel comfortable pushing anymore, then you simply stop. That's the difference between you and somebody who doesn't care. Somebody who wants to get their strength and their power with or without other people's cooperation. Somebody will force their way in, break things along the way, as long as they get results for themselves. There's always an effect. There is always a push and a pull. The mage who practices her water magic in a lake destabilizes an ecosystem. The fire mage, seeing how much output he has, accidentally burns someone else. The stone mage moves too much earth at once and disrupts the fault line. We all want to get stronger, but we don't want to break things in the process. That's what differentiates us from those who don't care and who want to accumulate power as quickly as possible. Those who are willing to get rid of those in their way for their perfect vision. Because we tread carefully. We move at a pace that's slow and steady, without harming everyone around us. Because we understand that disruption can tilt the balance and everything falls over. So yes, progress can come slow.
Yes, Sensei.
You're dismissed.
I suppose that makes one of us at least. You're still here.
I didn't want to leave, and I was thinking, what if Malleus is here and he pulls you off to the side or something?
I don't know what to do. Sensei is right.
Sensei was what?
Right.
That he can't get up here without permission?
That too. I was looking for answers in what he does and how he does it. But I wasn't taking the time to better understand myself first.
What do you mean?
I've heard a number of stories and met a few people who have been afflicted by him. Given his nature and what he is, I thought perhaps it might be possible to help those people. I want to help those people, but I don't know how. And I'm afraid if I just start messing around with people's heads, I'm going to hurt someone.
You can test it on me. Just start slow. And then I could also build up mental fortitude or learn to block it out. Same time, Shen used to assault me with his psionics in some way. I'm used to it.
I need to think.
Where are you thinking? Because I don't think we should be up here.
I don't know.
Outside of Zafira, we could find a restaurant or something.
I don't know where is safe anymore. I thought I would be
safe
afforded some safety because I work here and he has business here of some sort. Knows he isn't to mess with anyone here. That wasn't the case. So now I'm scared that he doesn't care anymore, or something changed. And I'm wondering, not just myself, but everyone else who might be at risk. I don't understand his behavior last night. It felt like he was lashing out at something or acting rashly, which doesn't seem like him.
That's not who he is at the onsen. People do this all the time.
Talking about how people have described him, not about how I have seen him. People talk about how careful he is, how cautious he is to do certain things.
You were his target. He invited me as a second option, I think. And I have... Actually, me going there was a very bad idea because he could have just had control over me or something, whatever he does.
what to do. I don't know where to go. I know as I need some time to think.
What makes you feel comfortable? We'll go there.
Thought it was this place, but I don't know about staying here now. I don't know where to go.
I think we stay out of Zafira until we are in the public's eye, places that we can't get dragged away. Gionson is safe, we just shouldn't have gone with him. So you told me focus on the now, what's in front of you. For now, this is a vacation. We have a week, at least I am thinking a week away from everything. Go somewhere semi-nice, get some food, and then we'll think. These are for babies. Big babies. Get better chairs. Do you have a migraine?
Yes, a little. I wouldn't call it a migraine, just a headache. I feel
My head is killing me.
lightheaded, I think. I'm not sure if that's just from me being nervous or from yesterday.
I felt kind of light in there. Things weren't right, so that worries me. What if none of this is real?
Maybe, I don't know. I woke up with a nosebleed, though, which didn't happen at first.
Things were knocked around in the room.
What?
I saw a book on the ground. I kept waking up.
Oh, this morning. Sorry, I probably didn't sleep very well last night.
Honestly, I thought it was maybe Malleus or something.
No. Iris and I were both a bit... I guess... shaken. From everything that happened. I think even they had a hard time not thinking about it.
but we should talk to Rogue at some point.
He sent
I
me
already
a
told
text
him.
last night. He said he wanted to talk to the both of us.
We'll find a time and a place. We should probably do it sooner rather than later because I don't know what'll happen.